Still tea in the pot, I hope.
Morning, Reggie. Been in the garden?
Well, I'm a bleeding gardener. Where else would I have been?
So while you're gallivanting off to the manor with your posh friends, what are Jimmy and I supposed to do to while away the hours?
Well, you'll have to stay here at the lodge.
Great.
Well, I can look after you both. I used to work for old Mr. Mallory once upon a time. He paid me well. Don't get me wrong. Miss Georgina, she ain't a poor employer, mind. Only the lodge don't pay half as good. The grounds here aren't half what they used to be up at the manor. I was fairly well off there, what with working for Mr. Mallory and the other woman.
Other woman?
Oh, yeah. Worked for her once in a while. He paid me, of course.
Thank you, Reggie. Sorry, he's a bit of a gossip. It's all quite dull, actually. He's talking about my aunt's father's sister. I didn't mention her last night because, to be honest, I never think about her. Father never talked about her, never. I don't even know if she's still alive.
Did she and your father have a falling out?
He used to visit her in the holidays.
Thank you, Reggie. I'd like you to work in the potager today. The kitchen is running short of supplies. He's harmless. Albert, I've been thinking about him. He's Mother's sister's only son. I'm very puzzled as to why he's been invited. Father and he never got on. Father didn't like his politics or his coat's address. He believes that this country will lose the British Empire. He also predicts that we will go to war one day. A huge world war. Born pessimist, I say.
Born fortune teller.
Time we're off, I feel.
Yes, I'll fetch my coat and hat.
I'll join you shortly.
Yeah.
You two, behave. He's buried at the manor?
Yes, well, you must think my family are rather eccentric breed. You see, Grandmother is buried within the confines of the manor. I believe somewhere beneath the kitchen floor. She was always in the kitchen. Anyway, in Father's will...
Excuse me for interrupting, but isn't that a rather macabre place to be buried?
Well, between you and I, she was of the odd kind anyway. She was always working in the kitchen. Anyway, in my father's will, he requested to be buried beneath the parlour floor.
Welcome to the Hotel of the Dead. Sorry, that was rather in poor taste.
Anyway, it's quite amusing, actually, see. Nobody knows the reasons for his actions. To this day, it's kept our curiosity aroused. It was on October last we buried Father beneath the parlour floor and said a prayer that he might rest comfortably.
You mentioned your cousin Albert. You said he was the one who found Horace. You say he and your father never got on?
No, he was quite rude to him and to Edward. Whenever they visited, he never offered them dinner. If he was feeling well disposed, he might offer them a cup of tea.
Oh, don't you ever stop.
What you got there?
Oh, this is all about the Mallorys. Now, they were pretty big news in this part of the world at one time.
Father hated Christmas. Said he didn't like it, felt it was all too false. He loved his family all year round, so didn't see the need to shower them with presents. He was never here for Christmas.
For Christmas? How odd. Where did he go?
We were never too sure, but I think he used to go and spend time with his mysterious sister. Oh, he used to have such parties while he was away. He caught us once, but Mamma stood up for us, even though it wasn't...
Sis! Sis!
What is it, Henry? How... Oh, my! What is it?
Thank you, Matthews. Worked here long? Look at this. Jane Mallory, 1786 to 1802. Died during childbirth. Crikey, she must have only been about 16. Bet that caused a furore.
Can't you read that thing in your head?
How strange. Look. Horace Mallory was very proud of his wife Beatrice, 3 sons and a daughter.
Good for him.
No, wait! Georgina said that there were only 2 sons and her. Oh no, what was their names? Edward and, Henry, I think his name was. Who was the other brother?
Maybe he's dead. Perhaps it's a misprint.
Or maybe someone has skeletons in the closet.
I'd almost completed my journey. I'd noticed that the lights were on at the lodge, and I wondered if I'd yet to begin my journey here, when I remembered that old Reggie would probably be there. It caught my attention, and before I knew it, I was apprehended.
Did you see his face?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Henry. This is Stephen, an old friend. He works at the Gazette. Writes for travel.
Well, I'll give you something to write about then. There's a lunatic on the loose. Just jumped on me. I couldn't see his face properly. He was wearing some kind of hood, but he was holding a fierce-looking dagger. He sort of snarled, and he said, "You know him, don't you? You're the relation." I wondered who he was talking about, and it seemed to rile him, you know. He just kept saying, "You, Mallory, Mallory, you know." His language was appalling. I'm giving you the prettier version, my dear.
Do you think he was referring to your late father's death?
I can only guess, but it does seem to be a coincidence. The date and tonight's queer family meeting. He started shouting at me, telling me that I killed him, and that if I didn't admit it to the police, then the true family would avenge his death.
Then what?
Well, that was it. He just fled, but he kept shouting, "You killed Mallory! You killed Mallory!" It was quite upsetting, naturally.
Mallory. Mallory, of course, it's linked. Georgina, there's someone out there who wants revenge. And unless we find them, I fear they might just get it.
I must take my leave of you now. I have to go out. If Reggie asks where I am, tell him I've been called away on urgent business.
Is everything all right? You look very shaken up.
Well, if you must know, it's not. I've just taken a call from St Cuthbert's, the cottage hospital. It's Georgie's, Miss Georgina's brother Edward.
Has he been taken ill?
No, he's been stabbed.
Stabbed. Jimmy! Jimmy! Jimmy, have you seen Reggie?
Not for a while.
I need to find him. I need to know more about Horace Mallory's other woman.
Oh my, terrible happenings. Poor Edward.
He is in the best place, Georgie.
He'll pull through, Mum. His wife is with him.
Yes, I really do think it's best that we stay here and carry out Father's request. Besides, Albert isn't here yet.
Oh no, you don't suppose something awful has happened to him?
Does anyone know what happened to Edward yet?
It's, as I said, he's stabbed. Apparently some madman jumped out in front of him in the woods. And, well, the nurse was quite vague on the call, but it appears he's been charged with murder of a member of his family.
So the two incidents are linked? My goodness, what is happening here?
Damn you, boy, look where you're going. You and your family, you're not wanted here.
There's been a call from the hospital. He's dead. Edward Mallory. He's died. I'm so sorry.
So now we really are looking at murder.
This is all very serious, Georgina. We're going to have to deal with this matter very, very carefully.
This is nothing to do with you. In fact, I find it rather a coincidence that it all started when you and your friend first arrived.
Don't be stupid, man. Steve's been here all along.
Yes, but his accomplices haven't. It's very strange how he's always with Miss Georgina and keeps her busy, and then suddenly they're picked off one by one. You murderer! Get off of me!